Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers masterpiece review. In today's video I'm finally taking a look at Takara Tomy Transformers masterpiece Jeep MP-47 Hound. This is of course a Jeep Willys CJ3B, and before I get into that I've got the collector's coin here which we just open up, and it's like the pin badge there with Hound's face in the middle of the matrix. It says Transformers masterpiece Takara Tomy. Quick look around the box. We've got Hound on the front there in both his vehicle and his bot mode. Got the long life designs again. Got the Jeep on the side. On the back of the box we've got everything that's included. We have what I imagine is the bio or something, one of these two. That tells us there about the Jeep. We've got him with Megatron, we've got him with Ironhide there. We've got all of these accessories that are included, including Big Spike and Hologram Spike. We get the hood from that one episode, which can be held as a shield as well. We get the alternative faces as well as the pull down visor. And of course there's Big Spike again mounted on the side, and his various different parts there. So without further ado, let's crack this open. It comes packaged in a plastic clamshell. Everything has a place. We've got the gas tank there, we've got the spare wheel, the hologram projector, we've got the side view mirrors, as well as his key to Ravager's cage. Everything's nice and secure. We do of course get a set of instructions, and we get a collector's card, and there's also an additional piece in the instructions telling us about how to lift sections over. We've got the transformation for his shoulder mount as well. These are just further to that are included in the actual instruction manuals themselves, and then little loops over like so. That's everything in terms of extras. I believe this is to do with the seating arrangements, and we've got the pins etc here. Just so you are aware, there is an issue with a couple of points on a few people's different Hounds. I'll cover those when we take a look at Hound out of the pack, but it's basically the door pin is very tight. That is prone to breaking, so you have to be super careful with that, and you have to be careful when handling this back rear fender sort of section here, because it's only designed to come out a fraction, and people have been pulling it all the way out and it's been breaking. Here we have him out of his plastic prison. Let's start off by, we've got these protective film inserts that go either side, and you want to just add these sections on. So that is to go on the back like so. Then have a tab for the wheel. There we go. And we have one for the petrol can as well. There we go. We have the additional wing mirror replacements that we can put in if we damage these or if we lose them. We have the hologram projector. I've got a small kind of nubbin in mine there, but it does the job. Get the base section of his hologram gun. That'll go in nice. That projects kind of the hologram versions of things. We'll get two alternative faces. We've got a bit of a shouty face going on there, and we've got a bit of a smirky face. We have the canvas hood section, which can be attached. I'll cover that shortly, and it can also be used as a shield. And of course we do have storage facilities underneath here, so we can keep a hold of our accessories. They can all be mounted and put out of the way. I like this. This is done with a nice translucent blue, and then this is a coloured plastic here, and the colour match is really nice. That's a really good clean application. We get Big Spike, who's vastly taller than all of the other figures. I'll show a comparison when I compare the bot modes, but it's still a very, very odd looking figure. Not a bad sculpt, really, just lack of paint. Again, really, there's no features. Considering how good they can be with their Diaclone, I think they really are let down by these. But this guy's the same size as the Weijiang oversized Spike. It just strikes me as being very odd. Nice range of motion, though. Of course, he can just... it's like bending in the middle of his forearm as well. But Spike can just go inside the seat. And he can sit and drive. And his hologram self... let's make hologram Spike drive. There. There we go. Doesn't that look lovely? You can have the wing mirrors out and up like so. Really nice. Absolutely adore this kind of matte finish they've gone for. Looks sensational. Stay there, Spike. Don't jump. Along the front of the dash, got some really nice detailing. Out of the way, Spike. If you look, there is a peg on the floor for Spike's foot, but I keep missing the peg. It's easier said than done. These are really crazy flexy figures, so... mine doesn't really roll that well. Again, probably due to the lack of traction on this surface. But he looks outstanding, doesn't he? I absolutely adore the paint on this. Now, I've had Gundog before, and I have Willis, and now my Willis actually fell apart. There was a stage I went through where every Fans Toys figure that I purchased would fall apart. I mean, I think the QC guy really didn't like me. But my Willis is kind of in bot mode at the moment. I can't transform him up into his Jeep because things just keep falling off him all around the back of the neck. I'll show you when we get to a robot mode comparison. But I know the Willis Jeep is bigger than this and does look vastly different. It is a much different colour. Obviously we don't have Jeep, etc. printed over it. I just love how this looks. We've actually got this very similar to this one on Forza Horizon 4 as well. I was playing it with my son, and we tried to make a Hound on there as well. But yes, really loving this. Now, whilst we're covering the Jeep mode, there's this pin here that people have been having trouble with. This is a very tight pin, so you just need to make sure that when you open and transform all this up, that you pay certain attention to this area and make sure you support it fully. And again, on the back here, there's this section here. This untabs. You have to untab this to get it transformed up. I saw T-Man do a video kind of just dedicated to this. And this section here only opens up a small fraction. It's literally just that. And then it hits against this piece here. It's literally just designed enough to open up just to get these out, not to pull all the way back. So people were pulling this hinge all the way back and just shearing this back door clean off. So that's probably an oversight on the designer's part. You would expect the hinge to open fully, but it doesn't. So please, please, please bear that in mind. Now, to attach the canvas background, you want to rotate this piece around like so. This is going to come up like this. And if you notice, this hinge has another bend here. This drops down in the center like so. So it's nicely kind of dangling, so to speak. And then we want to bring this piece down, and it lips over the edge like so on both sides, and then just compresses down like this. There. And that is the canvas top. Now, I think that looks kind of cool. I know it's only like on the one episode. It almost looks like a bit of a kind of a Jeep Wrangler. That's kind of how they ended up looking. But I think it looks pretty funky. It's nice to have that kind of frosted glass on there as well. It almost looks like it's wet and raining. So I like it. I like having that on. To be honest with you, I'm not going to be displaying him with the canvas on. I'm going to have him in his robot mode. But if the price of these do go down, or if there is like kind of a bootleg version of this released in the future, I'll probably grab one to have in vehicle mode with the canvas on, because I really do like how it looks. It's a very kind of British look for an American brand, I think. I think it definitely works, but I know a lot of people out there don't like the canvas, and I can understand why. I mean, there was only that one episode where we had it, but personally, I think it looks kind of cool. Bring this around, whoop, and like that. I'm assuming that probably shouldn't have the cannon like that when we have a passenger. But there we go. That is his rather fetching Jeep mode. Here he is with some more masterpiece scale figures, the likes of the MP-10 and Sideswipe and Red Alert. I think, yes, he is bigger than I would like. I think they I don't know. I think they're out to get scale junkies like myself. I like them to scale in the bot mode and in the vehicle mode. I don't think you can win with Hound. I think for him to scale in bot mode, his vehicle mode is just not. It's slightly off, isn't it? It's a smidge too big, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, I think these still look really pretty good together. I don't aim to display mine in his Jeep mode, but then again, he still has one of the smallest Jeep modes. His Jeep is still substantially smaller than the likes of Willis. Right now, before we get him transformed up, I would like to show you that the hood does open. There we go. And you can see Hound on the inside there. It's not really an engine block as such. It resembles an engine block, I guess. But let's remove fake spike and big spike for the purpose of the transformation. And we're going to start off by folding down the windshield. We're then going to fold this section back over, like so. And this is going to rotate around like this. And something I think that is particularly intuitive is the fact that we don't have to lose any of these added accessories. Everything can be kept on for the transformation. I think that's remarkable, really. I think that's kind of what separates this from some of its competitors. I want to just lift these seats up. They just disengage from the underside, like so. So again, on this side, lift this up, and that again disengages. Be very careful of these hinges here though as well. Just bearing that in mind, this is going to come forwards, and like me, you've still got cellophane on the arms. There we go. Right, now we need to split the legs. This is where T-Man suggested that we just bring this panel out slightly. It just pulls down enough to straighten. There. And comes away again. So that is literally as far as that hinge goes, which is definitely worth noting. Thanks, T-Man. Thank you very much. These pieces are going to pull down. This part here lifts up, as we lift that up, we can extend. So again with this side, lift that up and extend. And then looking at these side wheels, lift that up, and we're going to fill the leg. So this is going to come down like so and slides down into the groove, and then again on this side comes out and pushes down, and then this section can then close off around the outside of that leg. This panel is going to fold like so. That'll come down, and this should all tuck in nicely, and really does clean up exceptionally well. So again with this side, bring this up and over, so it then folds inside the leg, and the same on this side. Bring this out, down, bring this section down like so, tabbing in, bring this out, around, and this is going to come all the way down and line up, tabbing everything lovely into place. Headrest rotates around like so, and then we can push that down. This moves just right down so it's at its longest, and this hinge comes all the way out like so. I love how that just misses that seat completely. Push this down so it comes out to the front. This is going to square off like so. This is going to come in like this, like we did with the other side. It's going to fold in half like so. That'll come up. This will then square off, bend on that hinge like so. This then comes down, and this will drop down into location, tabbing off and sealing off that foot, and a similar sort of thing for this leg as well. So push the headrest under like so, that comes down. This can stay on, but we need to rotate this around like so. Open this panel like so, that's going to open up like this. This is then going to come over on this hinge, pivot on the hinge like so, and then rotate on that hinge. So it should be left with it like that. So that's square and clear of that area there. This hinge here is going to come inwards. This is going to rotate around, so that comes in, and that's now tucked on the inside of that foot. Straighten out on this hinge here, which allows for this to fully extend and fit inside that gap. And this is going to come back in, and much like we did on the other side, so come round, push, lock, and from here these are going to rotate around and around like so, and drop down as well, so that just rocks and rocks like so. So we've now got some ankle pivot and some really nice kind of wedge like feet. I actually really like how they come out. They tidied up really nicely. Take a look at the top of the vehicle, make sure the wing mirrors are compressed down and these tabs here lift up like so. Again, paying special attention to kind of this hinged area here, just be wary. And these arms are going to come out and around like so. So again, just bring this out and around. Just be wary of these hinge sections. And with the arms bent down to the sides, like still keeping this hinge nice and straight, you want to just make sure that this hinge is supported. And you want to rotate these around, bring that down like so. And again, supporting this hinge here, bring that up to that angle. Again on this side, just supporting these hinges, making sure that nothing is getting excessive stress on there, no stress marks on any of those. Nope. Okay, good. We're cooking on gas. Bring this piece up. As you can probably tell, that's going to form Hound's missile, and Hound's head is also going to come up like so. There he is. And then this piece here, that's going to come away like so. So it lifts up completely. These seats are going to collapse and collapse. Those are the foot panels that we have when we're driving. Those are going to fully collapse like so. Steering wheel is going to come down, and these are going to come up and over into the center. Again on this side, up and over into the center. These wheels are going to fold inwards and inwards, with these panels sitting central between those wheels like so. This comes up, this comes up, and as we bring those up, those are going to join together nicely. And there is a small lip just here that the shoulder rotates and goes up and over. It just pushes over that lip like so, and once it's hooked in there, then this can then collapse down like so, and that's going to sit on there. You want to rotate this section down, and that's going to do a full rotation like so. This then collapses like this, tidying up very nicely. The head is going to bend on that hinge and compress down. This hinge then rotates to the side. This rotates like this. This then comes down. And this is going to open all the way up. This compresses down. Bring this tab up at the back, like so. Flick this all the way up, like so. And bring this panel down, smoothing all of that out. This can then come in and sit close to the head, and then with the arms, and then pull out and extend those hands. And last but not least, just extend this section here, making sure that locks in on the back of the neck. And there we have Hound, looking ruddy dashing. And here we have him fully transformed up, and doesn't he look fabulous? Wasn't overly complex. Once you get it all kind of angled up correctly, it's a very clean interpretation. Yes, we have that hinge on the back of his neck, which a lot of people don't like. But once that's tabbed in, it really doesn't affect him at all. The back cleans up substantially, and there's a lot of mass shifting there. Considering the size of the vehicle mode, I really love how this bot mode fares. It's a very good looking figure. There's a tab at the back there, so we could put a flight stand in if we choose to. There are no flight stands included with this product. Unfortunately though, feet are remarkably clean, and the paint scheme just in general is really nicely done. No huge blemishes, the odd bit here and there, but nothing to kind of shout home about. It's just a very good looking version of Hound, and contra to what a lot of people have said, this could actually be my favourite MP figure to date. I liked Prime, I liked Bumblebee. Bumblebee obviously had flaws with those pins on the ankles, but personally I think this one's more enjoyable. It's a better looking bot mode in my opinion. Transformation wasn't overly complex. Yes, you had to be very careful of those pinned areas, but taking those in consideration, I think all in all, for bot mode and for vehicle mode, this guy is definitely my favourite. Here I have him alongside his Fans Toys. Fans Toys equivalent. Poor guy, he's definitely seen better days. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, size-wise, they square up pretty decently. Vastly different in colour. I've got him there, so he is the projection version of Willis. But you know, I think both are very nice versions of Hound. I just think that the Takara version does square up a lot nicer. Yeah, this is where mine all broke. All of this section here just kind of shattered and fell apart, and he's very loose, so QC31. But yeah, I mean, width-wise, Takara have it hands down, don't they? A lot of people complained about the gap between the neck on Hound. It's on a hinge, so it does lift up and go down. But that being said, my Willis, there's a fairly big gap under there when you tilt his head back. I mean, that's a fairly unsightly thing. I know why they use the mushroom peg, but the downside to those mushroom pegs are when you tilt the head back, we get that unsightly gap. But I don't know, I think it's swings around about potato patata. Sometimes what's good for one person isn't necessarily right for the other. You know what, I could probably just, if I can get Willis transformed up, that would save me having to try and get a bootleg Hound or something similar to stick in vehicle mode, wouldn't it? But I think my mirrors or my light here is broken as well. But yep, there we go. That is Willis compared to Hound. I think both are very nice looking figures. I just personally feel that Hound has it this time. Give you an idea of our human character scale. Here's Big Spike alongside Little Spike, Wei Zhang Spike, and Sam. So as you can see, it's a quite an array of different sizes there, but I'm not entirely sure that I agree with those giving us all these different versions. I'm not sure. Yes, I can see why they want things to be able to fit inside vehicle modes, etc. But so far we've had 3 spikes with the last 3 MP figures, and they are all completely different. How about we have some alternative characters? Keep them all to scale. Now, if you'd like to add his jailer keys on, and you want to just tilt the waist forwards, and we have the key fob section which can flick down. The ab crunch can then come back. And if you see here, I've got these stored in here at the moment. I've got the faces here. This is where his tyre and jerry can go. You can just pop the key on the fob like that. That's to Ravager's cage. I really like what we've got going on here. Articulation wise, we do have a butterfly joint at the front. Not a great one, but one nonetheless. Arms can come up on that double jointed shoulder, forwards and backwards. There's an upper bicep rotation. Up here, there's a rotation at the lower bicep. We've got double jointed bend. There is a rotation on the wrist. There's a pivot on the wrist. We have the ability to open up the hands. There's some motion on the thumb, forwards and backwards. We have waist rotation. We have abdominal crunch in there as well. Love the way they've got the hips. We have hip skirts to the side if need be, so legs can come this far out. There is of course an upper thigh rotation. Forward, I love how that goes, ratcheted underneath the front of the leg. Really, really huge fan of articulation like that. We have a nice bend on that knee. So much so that slots directly in between like that. Again, really huge fan of what they've done there. Ankle pivot. Do have the raise and lower on those ankles as well. So we can get a really kind of deep forwards and deep backwards. No left and right motion. That's a fixed unit on there, but we do have that deep ankle rocker nonetheless. You actually get a little bit of left and right at the knee as well, so we don't necessarily need to have that ankle rotation. So there's definitely a huge amount of posability to this figure. The head, left and right, tilt side to side as well. We have the ability to change that faceplate. Very, very straightforward. Just lift the top of the head up, which flips up like so. Bring that out and then compress that bit back down again. So we've got his visor like that. And let's bring that back up like so. Push that back down. These faceplates just slide up and out of the head, and we're going to bring, let's bring that kind of smug look down, just like so, and then just close that off. Here we go. There's that kind of smug expression. That's a nice sculpt for Hound. I think that's the one I'm going to keep on there. I think. Now, like I said, he can have this mounted in his hands. It can act as a shield. We can actually have it mounted on his back, lips over, like so. But not personally one of my favourite looks for him. I like to keep him nice and clean. Kind of defeats the whole object of having all of that kind of slender backpack. Although, that being said, we can store these. These separate into two pieces. Ugh, I've just gone through the entire video with his legs twisted round the wrong way. There we go. That's what he should look like from the front. You want to just bring this tab up at the back, like so. And we've got this space at the side of the leg. This pops out. And there's space here for the gun tip to go in like so. That's going to come back in. And then this is going to come back down and push and locate. And same on this side. So just bring back the leg up. Side is going to come undone like so. This bit then collapses down. That's going to slide in there like so, and then we're going to push that back down, and that's going to nip in and push and locate like so. Now I'll leave you with a quick group shot of some of the various other MP sized Autobots. I still need to get Red Alert done by Bad Cube as well. I just think they nailed those versions slightly better. I will just bring in Big Spike as well, so you can see how he fares with the rest of the Autobots. I actually prefer that size. Something I can actually hold on to as well, as opposed to this flimsy thing which will not stand up at all, he says, as he manages to stand it up. But yes, this is Autobot Hound. Absolutely adore it. Still stand by that he is my favourite of the MP Transformers thus far. MP Prime is great, but I wouldn't buy any more of him. He's an expensive figure, and I'm more than happy with the likes of the TE Prime as substitutes for other displays, etc. But Hound, he's superb. Absolutely adore him. Love what they've done with him. Love the attention to detail. Love how clean he looks. Love the fact that you can go through an entire video with his legs twisted around the wrong way and not realise, because it's very streamlined and very aesthetically pleasing. All in all, very happy with what they've done. I'll include a link in the description below where this was purchased over at Robot Kingdom. And until next time, for myself and MP-47 Hound, thanks for watching. Goodbye.